give them Krishna consciousness and advise the contemporary problems in the Vedic tradition. So how can we deal the current problems as per the Vedic scriptures? So he is a very expert. He wrote so many publications, and majority of the publications are printed in Cambridge, Harvard, big universities. And before here, he traveled to Zurich, UK, and then here, and from here he will go to New Russia, all the places he's traveling and presenting Krishna consciousness for highly educated people. So Maharaj, all his disciples are lawyers, professors, at least second degree should be there, masters should be there, otherwise he will not accept. So that is his speciality. Today we are very fortunate to have him here on this auspicious Gita Jayanti celebrations. Maharaj will going to give a short class, 30 minutes class, the importance of Bhagavad Gita, why should we read and what we learn from Bhagavad Gita. And after that, you can, if you have any questions, you can ask questions, 15 minutes. And after that we'll go for Gaurarati and then cultural activities. Okay, and we have a lot of games and award presentation. We have two batches, one online batch and one in-person batch, Bhagavad Gita 18-day course. So whoever attended, certificate will be presented for them. So lot of programs, and our devotees are making nice prasadam there. So after the program, we'll have hot prasadam. Every time we will bring from home. So this time we got an opportunity to cook in outside, so we can have hot prasadam. Okay, so without any further delay, we will welcome His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Radha Madhava Gopijana Vallabha Giridhari
Gopijana Vallabha
Yasodhanandana Vrajjanandana Yasodhanandana Vrajjanandana Yasodhanandana Vrajjanandana Jamunteya Vanachari Jamunteya Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur, Hare Gaur, Hare Gaur, Hare Gaur, Gaur Hare Gaur. Jai Om Vishnukar Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astota Sapastasana Divine Guru Krishna Bhavacharya Sri Abhajan Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Sankar Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnukar Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astota Sapastasana Divine Guru Sri Bhakti Vedanta Saraswati Thakur Sankar Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Nam Jai Sri Haridas Kaur Ki Jai. Ramsi Kahao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Sri Gaura Bhaktavin Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopal Sankunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Ki Jai. Mathura Ki Jai. Mathura Ki Jai. Jagannathpur Dham Ki Jai. Gandamaya Namamaya Ki Jai. Smriti Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sanaveda Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glory is to the Son of devotees, all glory is to the Son of devotees, all glory is to the Son of devotees, all glory is all glory is to Gaur and Gaur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatinasya Yantana Salakaya Satsur Militam Jena Tasma Sri Gurave Namaha Sujetaya Manodistam Tapritam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamaya Dadati Sva Sadantika Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Parakolam Sri Guru Vaishnava Sri Rupa Sagudatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajiva Sadveta Sadhujutra Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Jivam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Saha Ganalita Visha Kamvitam Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopesha Gopita Radha Kamvitam Tata Kanchana Randi Radhe Vrindavani Vishwakam Sitade Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoja Buddhaya Pustavantu Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Swami Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutari, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane, Nirvisesa Sonyavali Pasakya Visakarane. Vanchakapatariyasya Kripasunvyayavasya Patitanam Pavanidyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So welcome everyone to this auspicious gathering, celebration of the appearance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, how many of you here have been to Kurukshetra in India? Have been to Kurukshetra in India? Can you show? Raise up your hand. Okay, 1, 2, just 2. Yeah, Kurukshetra is still there in India, in Haryana. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is not a fiction. It's not a fiction. There are literatures, fiction, non-fiction. Bhagavad Gita is non-fiction. In other words, it's a real event that took place on this planet. The Lord was speaking to Arjuna on the battlefront at Kurukshetra in Haryana, India. It's still there. The place is still there. It's the place of pilgrimage. It's going to have the temple there too. So, who knows when, what day was Bhagavad Gita, this event took place? Yes, can someone tell us? Mokshada Ekadashi. Mokshada. Today is also, yesterday was Mokshada Ekadashi. Yeah, India time is really like one day ahead of America. So, yeah, it's interesting that, when I get really infuriated when I read people, especially Western scholars, say that, this is, they give some literary tag, which means basically that, this incident never really took place. No, but that's wrong. It did take place. And the place where this battlefield occurred, is still right there. where the Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna is still right there. And therefore, it is wrong to say otherwise, or it's commonly absurd to try to give some personal interpretation onto the Vedic literature, and specifically the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Krishna. It was a dialogue between Lord Krishna and, I like to call Arjuna, Generalissimo, or a warrior, general warrior. And I look at Bhagavad Gita, this whole transmission of knowledge to Arjuna as crisis learning in a crisis situation. We have crisis leadership, but this is crisis learning in a crisis situation. People want to learn. They go to school to study in cozy atmospheres, to study. The Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield. Can you imagine? How will you feel? Who are students are here? Raise up your hand. Those who are in high school. Yes. How would you feel when you have to do your classes on the battlefront? Or when the teacher has to take you to the battlefront and say, this is how we're going to have our class. I guess nobody, no intelligent parent will sign up their students for that. They sign up their kids for that. To go and study, the environment of that study is on the battlefront. No authentic parent will sign up their student for that school or for that course. But that is a course that Arjuna underwent. It was on the battlefront. In other words, Arjuna was given these instructions. He received this transcendental knowledge on a battlefront. So it's like you have to fight. But even the fight has to come as a result of Krishna's power of persuasion. Persuasion is a big thing in management studies. If you want to get someone to do something that, ordinarily speaking, they don't want to do it, they be able to convince them by logic, analysis. That's persuasion. It's not by force. You convince the person with knowledge, with basic information culture about the need for them to do it because you give the benefits. Like some people, you won't really get them to chant except you tell them something they're going to benefit materially from the chanting of the holy names. When you convince them based on some data or analytical values, then what you're doing is basically persuasion. You're not trying to proselytize the person. You persuaded the person to do things initially he never wanted to do. That was the situation of Arjuna. So there are a lot of things to learn from the Bhagavad Gita. And essentially the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita is that we have to understand the ultimate purpose of human life. We have to surrender unto Krishna. Why surrender unto Krishna? There are many millions and millions of demigods. Why surrender to Krishna? Krishna for what? There's so many gods. Why surrender to Krishna? So Krishna mentioned in the Gita, he is the source of the material world and the spiritual world emanate from him. Lord Brahma also said that Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sakshi, Ananda Vigra. Anadi Adi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana. These are the words of Lord Brahma, the Supreme Lord of our universe. And all of these demigods, they are children of Lord Brahma. So, people who do not get into proper investigative studies of the Vedic literature, they just jump into a conclusion to say, this person is God. Yes, they are God, but there's a difference. We have God, but we have the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are humans. There are higher beings, they are called demigods. But they are also, their lives are also very temporary. They live for a very long time. On Brahma Loka, you live for trillions of years. But Lord Brahma didn't say he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said he is an infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna. He is the executor of the will of Lord Krishna. The same thing Lord Shiva said in his conversation with Parvati. He said, Lord Shiva said, of all worships, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the highest. Lord Vishnu is just a plenary portion, a part of plenary portion of Lord Krishna. If you read the Bhagavad Purana, it gives you fundamental delineation. Who is Krishna? Who are the order of his expansions that emanate from him? So we have Lord Balaram as the first expansion. Then we have the quadruple expansion. Then another quadruple expansion. They follow going to Mahavishnu. All along. They are documented. So if you stay on the street and someone comes to tell you something that is not real, that is appalling. And therefore, we need to understand the position of Krishna. Why he spoke the Bhagavad Gita. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita to be able to persuade Arjuna to embark on his duty. Sometimes we feel reluctant. We don't want to execute our duties. Maybe because of Hridaya Bala, weakness of heart. Because we are overwhelmed by the whole scenario. This is the nature of the material world. Sometimes we are just like a daisical about the execution of our duties. We feel uninterested. We're not interested in going to work. Who wants to work? Who likes to work? Who loves work? We can't blame Arjuna. But Arjuna has to follow with Krishna's instruction. He executed Krishna's instruction. He accepted Lord Krishna as his guru. He becomes committed to someone. In fact, if you are committed to someone, you are accountable to that person. You work harder. You work harder. So Arjuna was just a liberal guy in the beginning, a liberal generalissimo in the beginning, but he was confused. And Krishna has to clarify his doubts regarding his duties. So, the whole idea of Bhagavad Gita is that ultimately we should come to that platform where we understand Krishna's true Bhagavan Swayam and give our lives to Krishna. It doesn't stop you from doing your job. It doesn't stop you from maintaining your family. It doesn't stop you from engaging in your social adventures. It just adds something to your life that, honestly speaking, you can have it from anywhere. That aspect is that you get purified by engaging in devotional service to Lord Krishna. And this helps to foster your social, economic, and professional development. You're not going to lose anything. You don't lose anything by taking to Krishna consciousness. And so, the Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna. That the idea was to convince Arjuna to do the needful, to do his duty. So sometimes also we feel hesitant to do the needful in terms of implementing what we have had to create or to help in redirecting a misdirected civilization. And so we are all confused like Arjuna. We don't know the purpose of our lives. Oh yeah. And sometimes people think we're going to get plenty of degrees, then you're going to be happy. Or I remember when we were small, we thought, I think parents are the ones really checking me too much from enjoying my life. Let me just finish school and go away. And then I get many girlfriends. And then I'll be happy. But it's not true. You don't get happy by having all these social amenities. Otherwise, why are these, the richest people committing suicide? Are they satisfied with their life? No. There's a gap always in the material existence. And that gap can be bridged when we take to Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharma Pariti Jaya, Mameka Tanamrita, Aham Tvam, Sarvapate Yo, Moksha. We know that Krishna did not say that you should give up your job. He said, give up all of your inner brightness. He didn't say you should give up your family. He said you give up all of your material inner brightness. We create so many religions in our head. But the ultimate religion is to follow, is instructions of Lord Krishna. And therefore the Bhagavad Gita is meant to elevate us from our material conception of life to that transcendental platform where we can attain, in the process of executing devotional service, where we can attain that post-conventional consciousness, that platform where we become completely resistant to negative change. We become resistant completely to negative influences, to temptations. And that is just a byproduct of that surrender process to Krishna. And so, if you understand the essence of Krishna's persuasion of Arjuna to take to his instruction and execute his plan, then we can appreciate devotional life, devotional culture. So the Bhagavad Gita was spoken for us to learn from the Bhagavad Gita the process of surrendering to Krishna. Arjuna was confused. At some point in time, he said, I will so surrender unto you. Give me instructions. I will execute. See, I was looking at you. I was seeing you as, my cousin, my friend. But no, I was wrong. You are the supreme representative of God. Engage me. Give me instructions. And then Arjuna became convinced he has to follow Krishna's instruction. And that is where he got his pacification. That is where he became pacified and reorganized his life, executed plans of the Lord. He fought for the Lord. So are we ready to fight for Krishna? Are we ready to fight for the Lord? Or are we going to just, think that we can, procrastinate this chanting of Krishna's name? When I become 80 years old, when I become 75 years old, I can start the process. But no, Maharaj said we should start it right now, without any hesitation. So, essence of the Gita is to understand the purpose of human life, give our lives to Krishna, follow up with the process, the Yuga Dharma of the age. In every age, he has to prescribe Yuga Dharma. In Kali Yuga, the surrender process is simply to chant Krishna's name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And Prabhupada said, even a dog can surrender to Krishna. A dog can take prasadam, they may not chant Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya even engaged dogs, the wild animals, lions and tigers to chant Krishna's names. You think that's the mythology? No, this is not it's not a mythology. It's a real event. In South India, where Lord Chaitanya engaged, while the animals of chant Hare Krishna is still there. It's a theater now. It's still there. So, you have all taken birth in Southeast Asia. Bharata Bhumi te Havanasa Janmayara. Jana Stratakika, Kara Upaka. You have a commitment. If you're born in a very rich family, say you're born as a child of the president of this country, everyone is watching you. The president child, president daughter, what has he done? What has she done? What has he done? You step out of your house, the cameras are beaming you. No secret life. So then, people who come from this type of background, they are very alert, very serious with your lives, because they are role models. So those who have taken also birth in the land of Bharata, or have taken birth in families of devotees who are from the land of Bharata, or Bharata in diaspora, you also have a commitment. People are watching you. What is he doing? Is he not from India? Oh, he's doing like this. Yeah, they are watching you. They are watching you. So luckily, Prabhupada has given us a leeway, a way to be role models for the whole world. Make your lives auspicious. That's the injunction of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Make your lives auspicious and spread this auspiciousness to the whole world. That is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, to create an auspiciousness in a world that is overwhelmed by anxieties and crises. So Arjuna was in crisis. We are also in crisis. But we need to learn something. Because Arjuna learned something from his own crisis. He was in crisis and he was facing crisis on the battlefield. On the battlefield, what could be more horrible crisis than being a battlefield? But he has to learn his own lessons from a battlefield. So we are at an advantage point compared to Arjuna. You see here, I was just appreciating the whole of this setting, how nice this place is. We have to hear about Bhagavad Gita in this type of nice place. Arjuna was hearing Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield. He was in anxiety. Maybe some arrow is going to come and hit me. But he also has to listen, get the message of the Bhagavad Gita. We don't have fears of some arrow coming here to shoot anybody or some stray bullet. But that was not the case with Arjuna. He was an endangered species because he was on the battlefield. Yet, he has to learn transcendental culture, transcendental knowledge. So, let's see how from today we are beginning to appreciate Bhagavad Gita by reading Bhagavad Gita. We read Bhagavad Gita, we get purified. Why? Because the Bhagavad Gita is not different from Lord Krishna. This is the instruction of Lord Vishnu to Lakshmiji when they were in a dialogue. This is documented in the Gita Mahatmya. And in the Gita Mahatmya, it gives you delineation. The benefits you get by reading Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, to all the 18 chapters. Gita Mahatmya gives you the in-depth information about the benefit you get by reading any of those chapters. It's not a mythology. So we should do something about our lives. And so today is a very auspicious day. You could go to some social functions or some parties, but you choose to come for this celebration. So we appreciate your presence. And more importantly, is to take home the heart of Bhagavad Gita. we want to be happy, we should read Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because the Bhagavad Gita is no different from Krishna. And Krishna is the embodiment, is the source of all bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda, we're looking for happiness, but Krishna is the source of happiness. And so, if you're looking for water and you happen to go by the ocean, whole bulk of water is there. And you need just a cup of water. That means you see the whole ocean is there. So in a similar way, we're looking for happiness. But Krishna is the ocean of happiness. Ananda. I was mentioning this the other day. Our birthright is not a privilege. Our birthright is to seek for happiness. Yes. Ananda Maya Bhyasat. Is that our birthright? It's our right. Something is your right. You fight for it. If someone wants to violate your right, you can call the police. How many people have called the police for someone trying to obstruct you from being happy? And how well have you sought for that? Have you sought to uphold that your right, your fundamental human right of being happy? How well have you fought to uphold it? We look for the happiness in wrong places. That's the problem. So if we understand that Krishna is the source of all happiness, and he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, by reading the Bhagavad Gita we can be happy. Because it's going to replenish our happiness. If we read the Bhagavad Gita, we can purify it. We read the Bhagavad Gita, it will help us to attain willpower. Willpower is the ability to exert self-control. Without willpower, you can't exert self-control. And if you can't exert self-control, you're just like a drop of water on a leaf. You can fall off any time and dry up. This is a major problem in the whole world. The world leaders, this is their major problem. Not having the willpower to exert self-control. Even in the midst of, or in the face of an understanding, clear understanding that this thing is not good, this is wrong, they do it anyway. So the Bhagavad Gita helps to enhance our willpower. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, you get some amazing realizations. So we should try to read Bhagavad Gita every day. Why not? If it is just a single line, we will benefit from that. Not to talk of a chapter. Because Bhagavad Gita is no different from Krishna. And in this age, the prescribed method for realizing Krishna is Harina, chanting Krishna's names. It's as good as worshipping Lord Krishna. So on this auspicious occasion, we enjoin all of you to have a moment of retrospection and see how you can take initiative of reading Bhagavad Gita daily. If even it's just one line, do it on a regular basis. Your life will never be the same. I repeat, if even it's just only one line, do it consistently. Your life will be transformed. And when you read the Bhagavad Gita, you will see the instruction Krishna saying that of all sacrifices, I am Japa. And that's why we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, we should take advantage of the celebration Bhagavad Gita and wholesome, we should take advantage of the knowledge that Lord Krishna left behind instruction to Arjuna. We are also confused like Arjuna. So if we take shelter of Lord Krishna, we can get clarity of purpose and we'll be able to fulfill the purpose of human life, which is Krishna Prema Pumantu Ma. Any comments or questions?
Any questions?
Any comments or questions? It's a simple talk, so I don't envisage any confusion. Yes, so if you don't have any confusion, then the best thing is to take to this path. Yes.
What is your advice to someone who does not understand reading Bhagavad Gita the first time?
Can you use my
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. So my question is, what is your advice for someone who does not understand Bhagavad Gita when reading first time?
Reading the first time and he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It just shows that the layers of ignorance is very dense. I remember a case when I was in Nigeria. So we went out on Sankirtan to another city and we were distributing Prabhupada's books. And then a gentleman came out from his office. He said, "Oh, you're the Hare Krishnas. I love your philosophy. When you speak, I love it so much. But I bought your books, I read the books, I don't understand." Your question is very pertinent. I've seen that. Someone comes to confess that he read it. He works in an office. So I remember also one of my cousin's son. I gave my cousin some books. So I met his son. I was discussing with him. He said, I got the books. I read the books that you give to my dad, but I don't understand. Yeah. So there are cases of people reading the books and they don't understand. And what is required is that they need to chant, because it just shows high level of anarthas, high level of impurities. When impurities are so dense, you cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It's just like if the impurities are so dense, you can come into this hall and you will not see the deities. You will not see those deities. I'll give you an example. Okay, so there was a pujari. I don't want to mention the country or the city, but this happened in this country. There was a pujari, so at some point in time he got involved in some sinful activities. I don't want to mention the details. He got involved in some sinful activities. So one day he came down to the altar, and other pujaris, they were addressing their different services there. They were addressing the deities, and then the big deities are there. They're waiting for this pujari to come and start the dress. So he came to the altar, and he started asking the devotees, "But where is Radha Samasundara?" So they were shocked, because the Radha Samasundara is there, okay? But he was asking, "Where is Radha Samasundara?" Who took them away? Yes, so this is not a Purana. I mean, this happened in a movement just a few years ago. So then he said, "Radha Samasundara is there. What's going on with you?" The other pujaris, they knew he had done something. Yeah, so if the anarthas are so dense on someone's mind, it's like you have a mirror and the mirror is full of dust. You can't see there's no reflection, you can't see an image. So when people read the translator literature and they don't understand, they can't grab anything out of it, It's as a result of high density anarthas. What they need to do is to take plenty of prasad and to chant. Then there will be some purification and they can understand. Even for somebody who is even reading and he has understanding, the more you engage in devotional service, the more you've been chanting, engage in devotional service. If you come to read that same book, you feel it feels as if the content you have never seen it before. It's all new because you're looking at it from a higher perspective. Yeah, so purification is what enhances understanding of the Bhagavad Gita.
Hello. Thanks for such an insightful lecture on Bhagavad Gita. I have a question on the soul. In Bhagavad Gita, I think we talk a lot about the soul. And the soul has no birth or no death, right? So, we talk a lot about the population being increasing, right? So, does that mean if the soul has no birth and death, does that mean that the souls are being transferred from one species to other, or is it that the souls are being they come down from the higher lokas?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very insightful question. Very nice question. Now, what traditionally happens when you talk about so-called overpopulation is that people are becoming too engrossed in sinful activities, and then they are overpopulating the world, like they are engaged in too much of illicit affairs. And then in some communities or some countries, you see that someone has no money to fend a child, and they engage in sex to just produce children, to increase the population. And they think that this is a pride. That because when you have a child, when you invoke a child into this world, you have a responsibility. You are supposed to work towards the extrication of that child from again taking birth in this material world. But no, they don't have any understanding. It's based on the proclivity or the tendency to just enjoy the senses. No sense control. Adanta Gobi Vishatan Tanisha. We create hell situations by becoming slaves to our mind, to the dictates of our mind and the senses. This is the root cause of overpopulation. And because people are not involved in high pious activities, they're not involved in spiritual activities or devotional culture that will help to transfer you to the spiritual world. What happens is that from the subhumans, say the primates, souls from the cow, they evolve their next birth because they just go by in natural evolvement. Souls from the cow, for instance, they evolve to human bodies in the next life. Now, this evolution is just going on a rapid scale. And on the human platform, people are engaged in illicit sex, producing unwanted progeny. What is the technical name Baba Krishna called it in the Gita? Unwanted progeny. People are engaged in producing unwanted progeny, or Bana Shankara. And so, the souls from the lower species, they are evolving to the human platform. On the human platform, unnecessary procreation is going on. And then from the higher planets, people are exhausted, living entities and body souls are exhausting their pious credit, so they fall down also to the... So it becomes like a big traffic on the middle planetary system. Because this is the planetary system. This is the level where you can embark on activities that will facilitate extrication from material existence. But people in general are not even aware of that. Or even those who are aware, they are conditioned by the dictates of the mind and the senses. So we have this traffic jam. From higher planets, people have whose pious merits have expired, coming down to revamp their pious activity, revamp their pious credit. People, the entities from the lower subhuman species, now they're evolving to the human platform. And people on this human platform, on this planet, on this human level, they are not interested in revamping their Krishna consciousness, and so they have to take birth again on this very planet. That is why there is so much of traffic jam on this planet.
So essentially, the number of souls are constant. That's what you're saying, right? In across the universe.
Across the universe, yeah. In the universe, it is not necessarily constant because there are some living entities. Say they are involved in devotional service, and at the end of this life, they go back together. They get out from the material planets here. But many embodied souls, they are not revamping their Krishna consciousness. So they risk having to be born again on these middle planetary systems.
So what is the source of the soul?
The source of the soul is Krishna. Krishna mentions in the Gita, Mama evam so jiva loke, jiva buddha sanatana. We are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. Now, this body is made up of Bhumi, Apa, Mala, Vayu, Kam, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara. So, these elements constitute this physical and subtle body, but the life activator of this body is the spirit soul. And that spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Lord Brahman helped to mold, he assembled all these 8 elements and created these different forms. Human forms, trees, aquatics, whatever.
So how the number of souls have been determined?
Huh?
How the number of souls have been determined?
Determined in terms of what?
I mean, how whatever souls exist today.
Uh-huh. How can you determine the number?
I mean, who? I know Krishna has decided that number, but is there any reason behind these are the souls? Why does the soul come into existence first of all?
Oh, so the soul will come into existence in this type of arena because we're not serious about getting out from the prison. I mean, it's like we will find ourselves in the prison. Someone finds themselves in the prison, and instead of struggling to be able to get some mercy from the governor, they have the governor or the head of state, they have what we call prerogative of mercy. They can come to the prison and just free some people. It might not be their time to be free from the prison, but they have that power, so they can come. Now, instead of waiting or working hard to improve on the wardens that you are a reformed person, people stay in the prison to commit more crimes. The guy who killed Floyd, the police guy, white police guy who killed Floyd by kneeling on his neck, he was recently stabbed. He was jailed, okay? He was recently stabbed in prison. So, there are people who are already in prison, but they are engaged again in criminal activities. So, it prolongs their stay in the prison. So, when we are on this human platform and we do not take advantage to walk towards revamping our Krishna consciousness so that we can become extricated from repeated birth and death or having to come back again to this material world. We are like such a prisoner who, instead of working hard to be able to get out of the prison, we love the prison because we are getting 3 square meals. We don't want to get up. Yeah, how's it called? Thanks, questions, insightful questions. Any comment, any other questions? Okay, very good. I love this young girl. Come on, tell us something.
I have a question.
Hello.
So,
Yeah?
does it count if you if you accidentally do a sin? Like you're casually just walking and then you accidentally step on an ant?
Yeah, it matters. That's why human life is so delicate and complicated. This is something you don't deliberately do, you don't know, and it happens, and then you are held accountable. For what? I'm innocent. I mean, it's like there was this morning. He pierced an ant with a blade of grass. Yeah, and then he got Yamaraj, gave him some punishment. So he queried Yamaraj that, this didn't happen when I was a child. I didn't know anything. How can you do this to me? Yeah, so that's a very intelligent patient. Yeah, it matters. Ignorance is not an excuse of the law. Papa said the laws of nature are very stringent. It's so horrible to live in the material world that you don't intentionally do something and you are held accountable. I'll give you another example. Suppose now you have 3 daughters, 3 girls, and you don't know how they use their lives. Somehow or the other they committed abortion. Each of the 3 girls they committed abortion each. You have 3 daughters. The 3 daughters, somehow or the other they committed 2 abortions each. And Yamaraj charges you for murder. Yamaraj, you can say, my Lord, I am innocent. I didn't know what they were doing with their bodies. So Yamaraj tells you, that you are supposed to be responsible. You didn't breed them properly. You are supposed to be ready. Because in the Bhagavatam is mentioned, don't be a parent if you cannot free your children from birth to death. That's like a joke, right? If you look at the world, if you look at what is happening in the world, it's like a big joke. But Yamaraj take it very seriously. When we step on and we do something that we didn't intentionally do it. Even in the legal system, if you do something, say that you got arrested, they take you to court, the cops take you to court, you are indicted and arraigned before the court, they read the charge before you. So you did this, you do this. Are you guilty or not? You can say, I'm guilty or I'm not guilty. I'm guilty with reasons. What is your reason? I didn't know about this. So the judge will say, okay, you don't know. Now you know. We'll put you to jail and then you learn from that. You'll know. That is even ordinary laws. They don't take ignorance for an excuse. So life is very dicey. You cannot be sure. But Bhagavatam explains, pada pada hi vi pada. Any step you take, you can run into trouble. Therefore, grooming our children in Krishna consciousness will give them leverage, a big leverage over the hurdles, the challenges of material existence. How many rounds did you chant there? Very good. You're intelligent, yeah. Very good. Any other comments?
My respectful obeisances to Maharaj. Maharaj, just I'm adding a question to Prabhu's question also. Just want to, we understood that souls are constant and we heard about that. And all souls are from a spiritual planet, basically part and parcel of Krishna. And these souls are with Krishna. Why they have come to the material world. That is different reason because of envious of Krishna. They want to enjoy out of Krishna and other things. But Krishna, why Lord Krishna has created all these millions of universes, and that universe, one universe, 14 planetary system, and then there are 8.4 million living entities. Why this structure, Maharaj? Spiritual world, material world. Why need to create all this structure basically?
It's a nice question, that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, since they are with the Krishna, they can enjoy with the Krishna. Why they want to come out from that?
Yeah.
The souls are thinking like that.
Yeah. Prabhupada, when people confront or ask Prabhupada similar type of questions, he will tell them that he will give the analogy of someone in a dry well, a deep dry well. Deep dry well, no water there, and very deep. You can die there. And so you have a rope, a life-saving rope. Someone throws a rope down. Cling on this rope, I'll draw it out. And then the person in the well says, where is this rope coming from? Who is throwing this rope here? How did I get here? Now he's asking all these questions. They're good questions. But if he gets out from the well, he can have a better understanding of who threw the rope to him, how he got into the well, and all this stuff. So, it is not always easy to say how we came into this material world, but we've been in this material world for billions of births. Brahmite Konya Bhagyawan Jeev. The living entity has been moving from one Brahmanda to the other, taking different type of bodies. We cannot say when we came into this material world. It's difficult to say. I've not seen anywhere in the Gaudiya Vaishnava writings, Prabhupada's writings, when we came to this material world, when the Jiva came to this material world, instead of staying with Krishna. We do understand that this is not our home. It's not a comfortable place here. Just like the fish, if you make a big shack, the president, you put a big shack at the White House in Washington, D.C., the shack will not be happy. You're giving him the biggest position on the planet, President of the United States of America. The shark will not be happy. So in a similar way, the living entities are moving from one planet to the other, one universe to the other, and we are never satisfied, we are never happy. Because the material world is completely averse. We are averse, in the material world we are averse to Krishna consciousness, and that makes it very difficult for us to be happy. And the only thing we can do to be able to revive our Krishna consciousness is to take to devotional service. Then we can understand things in a better way. I remember when I joined as a young man, I would always confront people with questions here and there, and there were so many questions boiling in my head. So even my Guru Maharaj, I ask him questions, and sometimes he looks at me and smiles. I say, Vasudeva, you should chant with attention, with focused attention, and you will understand so many things just by your own, by realization. I wanted to know the things instantly. Now he's telling me, I should go and perform devotional service, get purified, and I can have all of these unfoldments in due course of time. So yeah, it is a challenge to figure out when we came to this material world, how we came here. Did we fly here? Or how was that? So yeah, that's the situation. Then the consolation, the courage is that we have devotional service. When we perform devotional service, we become self-realized. Krishna can reveal anything to us. So we should be courageous to perform devotional service. We are not jnanis, but we are trying to be bhaktas, Krishna bhaktas. And with Krishna, being a Krishna Bhakta, Krishna Shakti Vinanahe Thara Pravatana, you can be empowered to spread Lord Krishna's message all over the world by Lord Krishna himself. Okay. Alright, so what's the next agenda? Thank you very much.
Let's thank His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. If you have any further questions to Maharaj, you can meet him personally. He will be here in the lobbies. So feel free to contact him and get clarified all your questions. So without further delay, we will go to next part of the program, award ceremony. Like a majority of you completed Bhagavad Gita 18-day course. So since we have a lot of certificates here, we will do it phases. So 10 people will go now, and after few cultural activities, we will give few more people like that. Okay. So I would like to request, I'll read the names. You please come and take the certificate and offer obeisances to the Maharaj, and then you can go back and sit. Ramesh Sharma Prabhuji. Ramesh Sharma. Next, Shivansh Sharma. Next, Swapnil Shivaji. Rashmi Sharma. Mittal Chopra. Naveen Kumar Tulsi Ram. Nijendra Divedi. Vijayanmala Kollu. Vikrant Gorantla. Jnana Varshita Chaka. So we'll stop here. We'll do next session. In case if you do not receive the certificate, you participate in the program, contact Surya Prabhuji. Either he will send the physical document or e-document to you with your certificate. So we'll go to the next part of the program. We'll play a quiz on Bhagavad Gita. So quiz on Bhagavad Gita. So I'm handing over to the cultural activities team. They will take care of it. Hare Krishna.
Gita Mahatya. By Medha and Karunya,